My name is Martin Klaassen and welcome to another interview session with the virtual lighting design community. My next guest is Praveen Thampi. Welcome, Thampi.
Thank you.
So before we start, maybe you can give a quick introduction of who is Praveen, where does he come from, where does he operate, what does he do in his daily life?
Okay, so like I said, I'm Praveen Thampi, founder of the Ministry of Light. We started way back in 2004 out of Hong Kong. Immediately moved base to Mumbai with the first JP Morgan call center that came up in India.
Okay.
And now we have an office in Dubai as well. Post-pandemic, I've been living in Dubai.
Okay, cool. Now, you're here because you have quite a substantial involvement in this fair. You're speaking at the Smart Building Summit, you're speaking at Light Talks. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to do and present today. Or have presented, you're on tomorrow, I think, so.
Yeah, no, I already spoke on the Smart Building Summit today.
Okay.
So, fundamentally, I think I was the only lighting guy around.
Yes,
and
that's why you're here, because we want to try and make the link with lighting.
The idea was to, we have seen on a lot of smart buildings that lighting becomes the backbone of an intelligent building. I mean, with the latest of LMS technologies and with wireless DALI coming up, I think the future of smart buildings, 80%, 85% is going to be taken care by lighting and lighting management systems, which will feed all of the data into the BMS and then further the IoT for fine tuning and all of that. Yeah. But yeah, with multi-sensors coming in, you have sensors which do all kinds of detection, including heat map, number of people, humidity, all of it. I think the future of intelligent lighting is buildings is lighting.
Yes, I can't agree more. Lighting is becoming more and more. I used to compare lighting, the smart lighting, with our mobile phone. In the future, the mobile phone is just texting and phoning. In the future, you get all these apps that will, now who buys a mobile phone for the phone function? Nobody.
Correct.
So in the future, I think lighting may go that way as well. You buy it for all these smart facilities.
Most of our phones are already Wi-Fi enabled.
Yeah, exactly.
It can be the future of navigation within buildings, within office spaces, all of that.
Great. Now, there are three themes in this year's fair. One is the sustainable future, which I know have a lot to say about. But we also look at innovative lighting design and seamless integration. What are your thoughts about these three themes?
Yeah, so innovative lighting design is something which is like the heart of what we do. I mean, I have always been at the cutting edge of technology in terms of, so I don't know if you know about this, I also do a lot of luminaire design for a lot of manufacturers.
Okay, no, I didn't know. But
especially office lighting.
Right.
We design a lot of innovative luminaires. We have now some of the latest luminaires which take care of tunable white with RGB WW, with vitamin D, all of that coming into office space.
Oh wow, cool.
So in fact, one of the luminaires which I'm designing with one of the manufacturers is certified by ICMR, which is the Indian Medical Association, for using in an office space for vitamin D deficiency, because apparently even though we have abundant amount of daylight in India, surprisingly there's a 70% deficiency of vitamin D in people.
Okay.
So that's one thing which we have now introduced as the future of office lighting, which is, of course, and even with standard circadian lighting, we have seen a lot of people are now very happy with the fact that the entire color temperature is changing to, when it goes to 2007 and stuff like that. So we developed something called as True Sky Circadian.
Okay.
So it's like a suspended up-down lighter, where you have the upward component, which is tunable, and the downward component is dimmable and fixed at 4,000 Kelvin.
Oh wow.
So your work plane is fixed at anywhere between 3,500 to 5,000 Kelvin.
All right.
And your ceiling that actually changes the color temperature like the sky.
That's interesting, yeah.
So
definitely innovative.
What's that?
Definitely innovative.
Yeah, so this is one of the things. Some of the other things that we are also working on is conference room lighting, where, especially for video conferences, we did a project for Google globally, because they had an issue that when there is a person with a dark skin and a light skin sitting together in a VC, one of them get washed out.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So this is a problem with the white balance of the camera. So we have now worked out a combination of what kind of surfaces that you can go in the background, plus tunable lights, which we have mapped which skin tone is most well enhanced with which color temperature. We have like a map.
Right.
Now we are also looking at a system. So depending on who is speaking in the conference room,
Right.
it will pick the skin tone of that person, transmit it through the lighting management system, and change the color temperature of the other thing. So this is something which we are working on with two companies.
Definitely active in innovative lighting design. That's for sure. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. So that's what really gives me the thing to keep it going. You know.
So what about sustainability?
So I mean, one of the primary aspects is I think we did one of the first well V2 certified projects in India, along with a platinum green building rating. I did my first platinum rated green building for Suzlon in India, Pune, which was higher than the ASHRAE headquarters in 2008.
Okay.
It was the highest rated platinum green building in the world, where we introduced a task light. That was also something new and innovative.
Yeah.
So it was not like a table lamp you put up in the office space. So we actually reduced the number of lights in the ceiling by almost 60%. Had a really good task light which would dim up and dim down based on each individual's requirement. Of course, those were T5 based. But with T5, we achieved 4 watts per square meter in 2008. And we still achieved about 600 lux on the tabletop with good vertical illuminance. And this thing had an upward component which also threw light into the ceiling. So the ceiling would uniformly glow as well.
Oh,
so without any cove lighting or indirect lighting, we achieved all of what a CIPSI LG7 standard would talk about.
And I would imagine that now with all the smart things coming in, it becomes even easier to
now it's become
realize.
far more easier. But if I look at some of my projects which I've done way back in 2004, in terms of lighting controls,
Right.
okay, and what I use today, pretty much the same.
Of course, big difference.
No, it's actually
but the technology has
the
changed.
technology has changed,
That's
of course.
it.
But basic principles, most of it is the same. What now you have the advantage is you can take all of these data with these new sensors,
Right.
feed it to the BMS system.
That's it.
I'm also using now those luminance sensors stuck onto the glass for drape control. So in fact, a lighting designer's role is becoming even more and more. We are encroaching into the interior design, where a drape specification is part of my BOQ. AV systems, we have a lot of it controlled now through BACnet. Of course, you can get it all integrated, but predominantly the LMS system takes care of most of the controls. It's only just basic two-way communication that happens with AV integration. So lighting and LMS systems are really taking the lead in all of these and making an intelligent building system.
I think it's a fascinating world we are moving into, which leads me to my next question to you about the post-COVID area that we're stepping into now. We all went through the pandemic, and it drastically changed many lives, right? So how do you see that changed? First of all, how did it change? Did it change your life as a lighting designer? Did it change the industry in general? What are your thoughts about that?
Yes, in a big way. So post-pandemic, I've never been back to office. I've started working from home and started working remotely. So one of the reasons I moved to Dubai was the fact that I could still sit and discuss designs with my designers in India online. You know, and that was the right time when all of these Zoom and Google Meet and all of these came up, and now that's extremely good for us to discuss with our designers. You don't have to be physically present. There was something interesting during pandemic 2020. I commissioned a Google office in Bangalore, sitting here in Dubai through Google cameras.
I've gone through that as
Even
well.
did all of the scene setting for the video conferencing sitting here, because visually you were seeing how things are changing, because I can remotely see it on my screen. And I actually did all of the settings with the LMS system sitting here.
Right.
So, yeah, it has completely
It has
changed our lives.
Yeah. Now, we are here as the virtual light design community. I've explained to you a little bit about what we're doing. What are your views on the platform that we have created and how that could help the interchange of knowledge between the lighting design industry?
Well, like I said, because things are going virtual, I think this is one of the best platforms because, I think even if we looked at the number of visitors who were attending the conference today versus the number of people who are attending it online,
Yes.
I think the online community is actually watching more of it than people physically coming to these conferences.
Absolutely.
So I think this is the way forward.
Well, we think so too, so that's
I
what
hope
we're
so.
doing. Now, to close off, I would just like to understand you as the person, what drives you to do what you're doing? What is your passion? What is it that you would like to say to people like, this is, why I'm in the lighting business?
Well, frankly, innovation is what drives me.
Okay.
I have possibly in my whole career designed about 65 million square feet of office space,
Right.
which I don't know many consultants can claim that.
No.
Purely office space.
Yeah.
Yeah, and out of all of that, I don't think I have repeated a single design. So every project has been, something innovative and something different from what we have done previously, and that's what drives me.
Okay.
And otherwise it's my team who actually does most of the other designs, but when it comes to something innovative, I'm the person in. So I'm hands-on on those projects, and because of the fact that I also work with a lot of luminaire manufacturers for product development,
Right.
and the reason both the ends marry well is because of the fact that I know what's the application, what is the requirement there, and I go back to the kitchen there and tell them to design these things. So it's like the best of both worlds. So that's what actually drives me.
Praveen, thank you for sharing.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Always.